Kia ora everyone, I'm Jack Fraser. How often do you explore your own personal creative flow? Will you put aside some time to focus purely on something that could be categorized as making art or involving your creative skills? For some, this might be easy. Creating might be part of your career or something that revolves around artistry. Whatever the case, I want you now to think about how that made you feel. Was it peaceful, focused, maybe frustration, upset? Were you happy? Well, regardless of what you felt, there's no denying that it evokes an emotional response more than anything else. This is the value of not only your own, but everybody's creativity and artistry. At the start of this year, I had a great first idea that I loved. Now, I'll admit, I was a bit naive and thought I could make this whole Greenstone really easy for myself. I thought this whole thing was going to be but the best of fun. And while I did have fun doing it, there was a lot more blood, sweat, and tears than I first thought there would be. And the journey hasn't been the easiest to get through, that's for certain. But sometimes the easiest path isn't always the most interesting or enjoyable. During my time at school, I found a passion for making music. I started to learn the bass guitar 2 years ago, and slowly but surely I've become more proficient in my playing skills. So, at the start of this school year, I knew I wanted to do something about music, something special that I had grown to love. And the initial idea was to build my very own bass guitar. I ended up running this idea for quite a while, going as far as cutting out a stencil and listing down all the materials I would need to make it. But as time started to go by, I found that it was missing something. It was missing substance. I mean this as in, why was I even doing this whole thing? For myself? Not for others? I'd grown unsatisfied with the whole project now, and suffice to say, it was time to pivot everything. Now, credit where credit is due, I would be in a completely worse state if my mum didn't put up with my relentless, stubborn attitude. Most mums are kind of awesome like that. With her help, we figured out that I had a frequent interest when it came to helping the younger learners of the school. This mixed well with a great idea that I had called a music wall. For my music wall, I would build a small structure in the kids' playground which they could use unconventional instruments to discover their own creative flow. I wanted to include the younger learners in this because while my previous idea was focused on my musical interest, I wanted to leave something for others. It felt right to me. I'd make, at the time, one music wall, paint a mural on it, and attach the instruments. This was the goal. My thoughts while beginning this plan was that the music wall could support emotional expression, helping children process their emotions, relieve stress, or just have a general outlet. This matched studies which found similar benefits, such as, for example, in a recent research from Edith Cowan University, they found that learning music, as well as listening, significantly improves children's emotional, social, and educational well-being. Specifically, learning music was linked to better self-confidence, emotional awareness, and a sense of belonging. But while changing my project, there was a small little thought in the back of my head. Only half a year left, Jack. The clock is ticking. Yikes. I'd wasted this first half of the year already, and I was starting to dread the idea of how much time I actually had left. But I think this first half of the year was still important for my project and where I am now. And regardless of how long was left, I needed to start as soon as possible. So, to start, I ran through a few concepts to find what would be the most space and resource efficient, as well as the most realistic with the time I had left. Eventually, I was satisfied with the idea of having 2 wood posts and a large piece of wood that would have all the instruments attached. And like I mentioned before, I wanted to paint a mural on it to involve more creativity into the process. Turns out, this decision paid off nicely. as not only did it make it look nicer, but generally it got a good reception from the younger learners. It felt like my project was finally moving in the right direction, moving towards a new goal of providing a musical experience for others, and maybe an opportunity for music to change the lives of others. Music changed my life. I remember my dad's really awesome rally car. Back when I was about 4 years old, my dad had a rally car, and on some mornings he would drive me to kindergarten in it. We would blast the tunes. I can still remember the childlike wonder as Seven Nation Army would play on the radio. But that's just one memory. I know for a fact that hearing such a variety of music really influenced my childhood in a good way. I'm pretty sure it even caused me to go into a Beatles phase when I was around 9 or 10. But anyway, I'm getting off track. So at this point in my project, I didn't know actually what instruments to attach to the wall. What would these kids like the sound of? Would some be too loud? Would some of them break too easy? All of this needed to be investigated. And so I decided to do a workshop with them. So, after buying some pots, pans, and other various items from a couple op shops, I had a group of instruments that the kids could test out. Some of the key takeaways were, some instruments were way louder than others, they really liked the xylophone that I bought, and teaching kids is hard. To all the teachers that were there with me during that workshop, thank you. But now, fast forwarding to when I had the piece of wood cut out, it was time to do the mural. And I'll be totally honest here, the mural really scared me. I was struggling to come up with a design I liked, and I knew it was probably going to be the longest part to complete out of anything else. This was the first time I'd actually reached a real roadblock, and it was irritating to say the least. Usually, I could have a solid idea within a day or two, but by this point, it had been more than just a couple of days. I was genuinely stumped. Eventually, I came out on the other side with a trade-off. I had a design plan for the mural, but felt slightly unsatisfied while I was painting it. My will to paint was no longer intrinsically driven, but by an extrinsic motivation. While extrinsic motivation, motivated by something like a deadline, isn't exactly terrible for me, I find that when intrinsically motivated, I'm much more focused on the task and find it easier to do. And I don't fully remember how long it took to finish, but it took a number of weeks until it was done. Through slowly painting details, redesigning, and generally just taking up way too much time at home, the mural was finally complete and the instruments could be attached. Though that tiny feeling of being unsatisfied still lingered in the back of my head. I'll get back to why I felt so unsatisfied, but first, I want to tell you about the effects of very little planning and why I can't ever seem to like the process of it. For me, planning is my kryptonite. The part of any project I usually dread the most is having to plan anything about it. I'll admit, this isn't at all practical. In fact, it probably hinders my ability to do a lot of projects. But as far as I know myself and how I work best, it's just not how I operate. And let me tell you, building 2 music walls was certainly not planned out. But during writing my speech, and yes, I was near the end of the year when I decided to build a second wall, I felt like I wasn't including this younger learners enough in my project. So, after a small meeting with Phi Sierra and Matua Sal, it was decided I had enough time to finish a second wall. The second wall wasn't as troubling as I thought it was going to be, though. The art on this one was much simpler, and it was a great idea to include the younger learners in decorating it. I ended up feeling so much more fulfilled when they helped me out with it. But I couldn't help but wonder why, though. Of course, I believe it's because I included them in the first place, but it didn't really answer the question of why I didn't like the first mural. Perhaps it's just a common reaction for artists when viewing their finished creation. It's the same feeling I felt about my Quest project, when I made a mosaic surfboard highlighting the importance of the ocean state in terms of world pollution levels. I can still remember the mistakes and all the imperfections on that board. And moreover, I can remember all the mistakes burnt in my skull about that wall. And while I'm sure many of you have painted something at least once, even if you don't do it that much, you'll probably relate to the feeling of inadequacy when we view the final result. And in this case, it doesn't even have to be art to feel like this. Letting down your team, failing a test, or maybe it's just something you actually don't like about yourself. I mean it when I say everybody feels like this at some point. It's the essence of humanity that just makes us so human. Perhaps for some, creating is a goal of perfection. Envisioning that goal, and like the sun, it just never gets any closer no matter how far you run. But it's when we finally lose all our breath from that running that we have to sit there and be content that we didn't do it the way we wanted. And that's the only way we can avoid the feeling of resentment that occurs when things are left unfinished. So for me, looking at this first wall that has been trialing and stressful, and at times has felt like even a burden, I'm glad to say that this is the mural I ended with, as well as the second one. But what truly made this project personal to me is the music. Music has played a huge role in shaping who I am now. For me, music is something that's helped me get through tough times, boosted my confidence, and has given me life direction and meaning. I found this spark of music and it has genuinely improved my well-being and made me feel more connected to myself and the people around me. Creating the music wall is my way of sharing that spark. I wanted younger learners to have a chance to discover music in the same open and playful way that I did, without fear, without pressure, without needing to be musical first. For the students at our school, the music wall is meant to be an easy and inviting way to explore sound. Not everyone is confident enough to step into a music class or even just pick up an instrument, but anybody can walk past that wall and feel curious enough to tap something, hit something, or just make a first sound. I wanted to design something that breaks down barriers and encourages creativity. If even one student who has never considered music before suddenly feels a spark while playing on that wall, then this project has been a massive success. I wanted to give something back to the school community, something that adds joy and opportunity to our everyday environment. I believe that even small moments of musical play can help students feel happier and more connected to others. The music wall is my way of showing that younger people can take their passions and turn them into something that inspires others. To end, I'd like to take a quote from Acid for the Children. This was a book I was given by my mum and was written by one of the people I look up to most. Flea, the bass player from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Quote, love. Love above the disappointment, judgment, fear, and hurt. Love to clear the fog that blinds us and unlock the shackles that bind us. Life is not but a journey to achieve love. Beyond that, greatness resides. Anything is possible there. Thank you.